The young woman sat quietly in her seat, her hands protectively resting on her swollen belly as the plane prepared for takeoff. Her heart pounding with both excitement and fear because she was flying for the first time while carrying her first child. But what was meant to be a joyful journey quickly turned into a nightmare when a flight attendant, irritated for no reason, barked at her to move faster, even though she was clearly struggling with her pregnancy. And when the woman softly explained she needed a moment to adjust her seatbelt, the attendant suddenly snapped and slapped her across the face, shocking the entire cabin into silence as tears welled up in her eyes, not just from pain, but from humiliation, and passengers looked away, afraid to intervene, her dignity crumbling in the very moment she needed kindness the most. And as she sat trembling and clutching her stomach, one question echoed in the hearts of everyone who saw it happen. How could anyone treat a vulnerable, pregnant woman with such cruelty simply because of her skin color, her silence, her gentle nature? Seconds later, the sound of determined footsteps filled the aisle as her husband entered from first class, his sharp suit and calm authority instantly drawing attention. And when he saw his wife's tear-streaked face and the red mark on her cheek, his eyes turned cold with fury. But he did not shout. Instead, he calmly asked the attendant who had dared to put their hands on his wife, his voice steady but dangerous. And when the guilty crew member stuttered in fear, the man pulled out his phone, revealing his position as the owner of the very airline they worked for, shocking every soul on board as whispers spread quickly. And without hesitation, he ordered the entire crew responsible for the abuse to be removed from the flight immediately, their uniforms stripped of power and privilege in an instant, while he knelt by his wife's side, holding her hand and whispering that no one would ever hurt her. Again, the passengers finally finding their voices and clapping with relief, not only because justice had been served, but because they had witnessed love powerful enough to protect and dignity strong enough to rise again. And in that moment, the humiliated mother-to-be felt safe again, knowing her child would be born into a world where at least one man was willing to fight for her humanity.